I think we're live.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 10 minutes after. Sorry about the delay. Technology. There may be a slight echo or delay in some of the audio. I'm hearing it on my end, which is very confusing for me because I'm hearing myself and then hearing myself like a second after, and I'm very distractible anyway. So if I look very confused, it's because I'm lost. But we're going to try to work through it. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys and it's only me hearing things double. Let me know in the Facebook comments if it's like too much chaos and it's not just me. So welcome to December. It is nearly the end of this wretched year. I don't hold much faith for 2021 being any better, but we're gonna go with it. So today, basically, it might be a shorter session than usual, but we'll see what happens. We say that sometimes, and then it just goes really, really long, especially when I'm involved. But the first thing I think Tina wanted to do is share her latest crochet project. And she made it using a pattern from one of our library books, Crochet Cute Critters. And I love the way it turned out. It's so great and it's so fantastical and I love it. So Tina, I'm going to hand it to you to talk about how the process was of making it.
Well, here's my turtle. Her name is Tina, and that's the name it was given in the book.
Tina Jr.
Excuse me. It took me quite a few tries and of making its shell, and I've ripped it out I don't know how many times. But I had fun doing it. I got it all together. I made sure I crocheted all the pieces, and then I stuffed it with the stuffing and sewed it together. And I used, I forgot what these eyes are. Oh, safety eyes.
What's so safe about them?
You put the eye through the material, and before you stuff it, there's a little washer that you put on the back of it to secure it so that it won't come undone if a child chews on it.
Gotcha. So we're not swallowing button eyes.
Right. I know it kind of looks funny without a nose. Still thinking about how to do that.
Yeah, turtle noses are funny because it just kind of blends in with the whole face.
But like I said, I really had fun with making her out of crochet cute critters. And like I said, there are many.
So do you have the page for the turtle marked that you could show us?
Oh, sure. No problem. Kangaroo. Come on. You're going to pop up. There he is. There she is. This is the way it's supposed to look. But as you can see, mine
very normal turtle colors.
Came out a little different, but I still like her.
Give us a good view of Tina Jr. Let's see her shell. The actual.
Her back?
Yeah.
This is her back.
Oh,
all this
so
right here is her body.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, these are her legs.
And her little tail.
And her little tail. Her head, to me, is quite too big, but it worked.
Mm-hmm. She's cute.
She's soft.
So how long did it take to make her?
Because it was my first time doing an actual pattern, it took me a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But now that I've got the majestics of it, I'll be able to whip them out a little faster.
So what kind of stuffing did you use?
It's a polyfiber stuffing.
Okay. So it's kind of like that white cloud looking stuff, like cotton kind of looking?
Yes. There is a difference between what I used and what quilts are made, what you use on a quilt. This comes in a big bag, and I mean, it's full, like a giant cloud, and you just take out pieces and like a handful, put it in and stuff it until you get it to the fullness that you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get all your pieces stuffed and you just sew it, as you can see.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called stitching. And like I said, this was my first time doing it. And I can't wait to make other ones.
So is there a particular, oh gosh, I don't know the words. So sometimes when you see like patterns on like Pinterest or whatever, they're like, this is a herringbone stitch. Or so like they have different names for different ways of doing
Different
the
stitches.
weaving.
Yes.
Yeah. So what one was this?
I started out, which was called a magic ring.
Okay. And that's for the shell.
That's the start of it. That's for
Okay.
all. They all start out with that magic shell ring,
Mm.
and then it says it's a single crochet, but it's technically in another language. I forgot what country it is. It's a double crochet.
Okay.
And maybe I didn't bring my yarn, but maybe I can show you next month.
Perfect. So what do you think you're going to do next in terms of crocheting? Are you going to pick another one of these animal guys?
Yeah, I'm going to pick another one out of the book. Maybe I'll try the octopus.
Oh, cute. I love the little smile on him.
Let's see.
So do you think that's going to be easier or harder than the turtle?
I think it's going to be easier because all you have to do is make the body and then the tentacles.
It's going to be fun.
But yes. I can't.
So the book was pretty easy to use?
Oh yeah, it was really easy to follow on the pad or the instructions. I don't know if you can see.
Here we go.
It tells you the material and all each step, and you just follow it along and till you get. Oh, lucky this one's only a one page. But you can use. It says to use an H hook on this, but you can use whatever size hook. The bigger the hook, the bigger it's going to be.
So there's some flexibility in terms like if you don't have exactly the materials the book is suggesting, you can still kind of work with it.
You can still work it, yes. Because let's see, what was Tina? Tina was, yeah, it says to use an H hook on her, and I used a 3.5 crochet hook. Okay. So mine came out smaller.
Awesome.
Stitches.
Now, would smaller stitches keep the stuffing in better, or does it not really end up mattering?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
It just, the bigger the stitch, the bigger it will be.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to make it small because it was my first try.
Right.
Why not tackle it with the small hook?
Perfect. Well, that's awesome.
Let's see. So my next project I started, I decided to change patterns. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm doing this
carousel horse.
Carousel horse.
Oh.
And this shows you how far I've got. I just started.
So is this a beginner cross stitch or is it intermediate or?
Because I've been doing it for so long, mine's a experience.
Okay.
But beginners can do this. Follow the pattern. Let's see if we can. Where'd you go? Ah, Bosky. There she is. So this is the pattern.
Okay.
And then down the bottom, down here, gives you the numbers and the colors.
Okay.
and I'm actually not using any of these colors to do it. I'm just doing it with what colors I have.
Okay. So this wasn't a kit
No,
necessarily.
this was,
Okay.
as you can see, is in a book.
Okay.
There are some that just, I have a couple of Garfield ones to where it only has, yeah, what page? No, I get drawn there. It's just, also, with my Garfield books, it's only, this is it. So it can come just like this, and your patterns are inside, color pictures on the outside. But some come as thick as that.
Wow.
I've got one that's about this thick.
Hmm.
And you can order them through eBay, or the internet, through Amazon. Just all you have to do is just put in cross stitch books, and it will give you a whole list of ones where you can bid on them, or where the location where you can get the books. And
I've also
go ahead.
I also when I troll through Etsy, because I just do that for fun these days, I see a lot of like digital patterns for download. So like you buy the pattern, they email it to you or something, and then you can either print it out or just do it from your device.
Yes.
Which I find really interesting because people will come up with some really kind of unique patterns to use that you wouldn't necessarily find in books.
Correct. I haven't done it yet. What was it?
Etsy?
Etsy?
Yeah.
I haven't tried that one yet. I've looked, but I haven't downloaded anything.
Etsy is dangerous.
Oh yeah. It definitely got nice patterns.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting. But yeah, it's a stress relief. If you got anxiety, believe me, you can use the cross stitch or crochet to calm your nerves down and everything.
Because you have to really focus in on it, and so there's not a lot of extra brain going on where you're just like, there's so much to think about.
Right, and you're just focusing. You're putting yourself to where just focusing one thing. Was it yesterday? I think it was, or maybe it was Sunday. I was on TikTok, and this 11-year-old boy was sitting on his couch talking to the camera while he's crocheting. He's not even looking.
What?
And it shocked the heck out of me. But he's been crocheting since he was 5 years old.
What?
His mom just gave him a crochet hook and some yarn. She stepped away, like going in the kitchen or something. She came back. She was expecting the yarn to be all over. He was sitting there crocheting away.
What? That's amazing.
And he's made Afghans. He's done hats. He's donated all of this stuff. To various charities, which is really cool.
Oh, speaking of that, so I was, as part of library stuff, I talk to other organizations every so often, and we're trying to do things to help the community out. And the folks at United Way Skagit are looking for knit baby hats. So if anyone has free time and free materials that they just want to work on something, knit baby hats would be awesome. And then we could put you in connection with the folks at United Way Skagit to get those baby hats to the babies and keep their heads warm. Just wanted to throw that out there.
If some of you don't know how to, know how to knit, that'd be great. Do the hats.
Yeah, or crochet them or something.
You can also crochet baby hats.
Yeah, we just need baby hats.
There's a pattern that you can find a pattern anywhere on eBay, the internet, or Pinterest or anything, and get your pattern there and crochet away.
Oh, we do have a library Pinterest, and I have been spending probably more time than I should filling our Pinterest board for In Stitches with a bunch of different ideas for things that you can make. So what you do is you go to Pinterest, you search Upper Skagit Library, and then you can go through our albums, and there's a programming album, and then there's a sub album within programming that's called In Stitches. And I'm just, anytime I find some really neat patterns or ideas or things like that, I'm just throwing them in there. So if you ever like, I don't know what to knit or crochet or cross stitch next, it's going to be in that Pinterest section.
Oh,
So
yeah, if you can also check my board out. It's under Tina Warren. I have a board that's got nothing but crochet characters, blankets, hats, things like that. And you can check my boards out on my board on that one.
yeah.
This
You also
is
share a lot of really cool
crochet.
sticker ideas.
Oh yeah. I
And
also
sticker
have
club's coming back, so Tina's sticker ideas are going to be really helpful.
I also have a board for crochet. Or I have like Disney crochet, or excuse me, cross stitch. So it'd be Disney CS. I've also got one that's called Projects. You can tell on my boards which one's cross stitch and which one's crochet.
Yeah,
I'm
Tina's
constantly,
Pinterest is like Disneyland. It's so much fun.
I got so much. I got so many boards.
Yeah, if you're ever looking for anything crafty, that's the place you want to go.
Oh, definitely.
She's got so many things that we've been stealing for the library to use. We're like, yes, this is excellent.
And just to show you guys how to even get started, this is your mesh and a needle and thread. And what you do is you come up in one of the holes, you bring it up. Oops.
Okay.
I can get this.
There we go.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's not just me. It's not just me. There we go.
Okay, you just pull through until you get a tail. And then what you do is you hold the tail down and you go across like you're going to make an X. Go through the hole, come back up, and you're going to go, whoops, and you're going to go straight down to the next hole.
So you're pinning down that tail.
Yeah, you're going to pin down the tail. Oops. The tail side. Don't want to stay. And you do that until you got the how long the tail you want. I usually go with about this long, this length, or a little shorter. And you just continue going across and making X's, or excuse me, half X. Get it in there. And then when you get your where a certain amount of stitches cross, then you just come back up the opposite side. Oops. There it is. And then you cross over until you get, oops, your X.
So you make that really steady there, basically, because if you lose that, then the whole thing's going to probably become chaos.
Oh, yes. Normally, I don't hold my material in my hand. Sorry about that. Usually, like I said, I was saying, I normally don't hold it in my hand like this unless it's really something I want to not use a hoop. You can get a complete hoop, which tightens it. It's two pieces. You take the piece that don't have the screw, you put it under, and then take the one that has the screw, you push it on top until you get and tighten the screw until you got your material tightened.
Okay.
But I prefer like this. It's called a C clamp or C hoop. It's just a ring, and it's got a piece of metal that you take the two ends, you pull them together, and you push it down, and you let go, and then you just flip it over, and you have that the back the spring part in the back of your material, and you just work from the front and then you just move it accordingly. But like I said, I just love my C hoop one.
Let me see if, excuse me, if I can pull up a visual of that to show folks.
I know it's called something, but I call it the C hoop. Trying to think. And I just found out that this company, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, I just found out this morning that they went out of business in 2000, but you can still get their magazines from that year back. And there's a lot of patterns in there. I entered a contest, and one of them, I made a baby bib. I crocheted a carousel, but mine didn't make it in the magazine that I came close. And I had cross stitch and crocheting. It's very relaxing. I don't have to worry about bills or anything like that. I just got to clear my head and off I go. Nope.
Okay. Nope.
Nope. It's in cross stitch.
Let's see. Let's get rid of this boy.
Nope.
Maybe if I do a C hoop. Any of these?
Okay. The one, this is embroidery hoop.
This one?
Second from the left.
This one.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's one of the types that you can use. As you can see, it's got the screw and the inner side. Like I said, you just put that inner side, the inside hoop on the back and take the screw part and lay it on top. But then let's see if we can find the one I use.
These aren't too expensive either.
No, they're not. And you get all those.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different brands. You can make them. There's bamboo, there's plastic.
And you can use the bamboo or the wooden ones that I call, yeah, you can use this type of hoop. You can use those as just, you can leave your cross stitch pattern or whatever you're working on. You can leave those in the hoop and decorate the hoops.
Yeah, like a frame, like
Yes.
a picture frame. That's awesome.
I don't see the one that I use.
Yeah, so they're typically called embroidery hoops.
That one's called the embroidery hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's kind of square. That's kind of funky.
Yes. You have a round one, oval, or like this one here is square. Excuse me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you want to go back to the page that we first saw the hoop that I was?
This one or the before that?
Back. Yeah.
Okay, let me try to close this without Zoom being in my way. Zoom, don't do it. Okay, close you. Whoops. Okay, this page, right?
Yeah, this page. Let's see. Go ahead and scroll down. That's not that. I don't see it.
The llama's cute.
Yeah. There's also another way you can use your to do your pattern to do your work on. It's at the very top.
That's cute. Very top.
Sorry.
The stand is really cute.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that there's two different types of stands. That one there, you put the bottom underneath your leg, and you can stitch right there while you're sitting in the chair.
Huh.
The other one that was next to it. Yep,
oh, see, that's cool. Okay.
There's that. And go ahead and go back to the C hoop. Yeah, right there. And then see the one next to it?
Left or right? This one?
Right. Yep, that one. You can use that one by just pulling it towards you and stitch away.
Oh, that's awesome.
They have all sorts of hoops. I'm gonna have to go back up to Bellingham and see if I can get the one that I saw for $10
Ooh.
at the Goodwill, but I have a feeling it's probably gone. But I'm gonna try.
But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of different ways that you can get these stands and the hoops and all the accessories.
Oh yeah,
That's the nice thing.
they come in like the round like you saw, and the square. There's even I call it an oval, or it is an oval. There's also you can use those, but they're just different material that you use, and it's a shame I didn't find the ones I usually use.
Okay, the mini ones are just absolutely precious.
Yeah.
I bet you that's harder than the bigger ones though, because you really have to get in and make sure everything's neat.
Yeah, but you can you see how the hoops that you see that had the project in. You can also make the mason jars. You can also take the lid and do something like that and put it on top of the mason lid.
Huh.
And like there's a lot of people that use mason jars for make a cake, and they put all the ingredients in there, and then on top they just put they cross stitch a picture of a cake. It doesn't mean that's the cake that's in there. It's a piece of cake, and screw it all on and hand that as a gift. You can do a lot of projects for different.
Yeah,
things.
I'm just looking at these earrings made out of the minis, and I'm like, that is really interesting. And you do necklaces, but I'm astounded by the earrings. I'm just like, wait, this is crazy.
It's a shame. I would have brought in the shirt that I did for my husband, but my son had already worn it, and it's like, no, not bringing it. It's dirty.
So wait, you cross stitched an entire shirt?
What I did is I cross stitched. He was into Marvin the Martian, and so I cross stitched on a shirt using distinct. Well, not this type of material, but a different type of material. Once you get the project or your design on the shirt, and you start taking the piece of the cloth that you put cross stitched on, you start pulling the pieces out to where all you have is the picture. You don't have to worry about the canvas.
Right.
You can either use that type to where you pull it out, or there is one out there that you can cross stitch onto a shirt or whatever and throw it in the washing machine and it dissolves.
What?
I haven't tried that one yet. I've only done the one.
That's really neat though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've done quite a few shirts. I gave a neighbor that I used to live next door to. She had cats. I kind of off center did a little bit, but it still worked. I did. She had 3 cats, and I did each color of those 3 kitties that she had.
Oh.
And gave it to her for her birthday. And to this day, she still has it, and she lets me know. She sends me pictures and says, "See, I still have my shirt."
That's really cute.
It's really cool to have other people admire my work.
Yeah, as we go into the gift giving season, I mean, these are the kind of things that if you learn how to do this and you give gifts out of stuff that you've made, it really does mean a lot more than some of the other gifts, just because it's your artistry and your time, and you've invested into creating this, and just people love that.
Oh yeah.
So it's a skill that I mean, you could always cross stitch something. It could always be funny or pretty, and there's cross stitch for everyone. You could always figure out a gift that would make somebody happy. So it's a worthwhile skill, and it's it's the time and the dedication and the, just the journey itself is valuable in itself. But then the fact that you can make so much with it is also a different value that it provides.
You can like if you have a favorite poem that you like, and it's only about a yay much, you can what's called a backstitch, and all you're doing is you're making a line, and you're just making all the letters, and you can actually do it in cursive.
Oh,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
But there was one thing I mentioned the last time. This here is, like I said, this is my front.
Mm-hmm.
You see how neat everything is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the back.
Wow.
And
that's pretty cool.
As you can see, I just did with the tail, cross-stitched over it, and made my X. I got all the way across, and then I brought it back to where we're having these squares, and it goes back over the tail to make sure it's secure and everything. And what I do is, like, if I'm going to change colors, I just go ahead and tie off, not tie off, I take the needle and go through the back of the stitches a couple of times. I just make like one row one way, and then come up one row and go back the other way, just to secure that tail. I call it a tail, to make sure it doesn't come out.
Right.
And then I start my next color, start all over again with the tail and go across. And I just keep ending it completely, so where I don't have needles and threads of different colors, because I just don't.
Right, it's messy that way.
It is. It's very messy. And believe me, if you start off and you just don't get the tail, but you decide you're going to put a knot, you're going to find out that your back's going to be like, okay, what happened here? But my front's good. You'll get the hang of it. It takes time. It takes practice.
It's worth doing it right, though. Don't rush through it. Don't take the lazy way. Just do it right the first time. Right. You're going to be so much happier.
Oh yeah, and like I said, when I first started, my adopted sister, she was doing it, and she tried to teach me. I couldn't get it. Bought a book, showed me how to keep the tail from coming up and without making knots, and I just like, oh, okay, this is easy, and just got rid of the book. And just took off from there. Mm-hmm. I've done, I don't know how many different projects, but I do give them as gifts, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, just because.
Yeah. I did this thing. You should have it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it. That's awesome. So how long do you think that particular cross stitch is going to take you? The carousel.
If I keep working on it, I'll probably take me 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, just because I work here at the library, and then when I go home, it's like, okay, I got either dishes to do or house cleaning, or I got to cook. Mm-hmm. I just do it whenever I have time or make time.
Yeah, so even with like busy schedule, these are still projects that you can complete within the month. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I sometimes, I'll admit it, not supposed to do this, but I also take my cross stitch with me or my crochet to church with me. Aww. And I'll sit there and I'll listen to everybody who's talking and cross stitch or crochet away.
That's awesome. It's multitasking.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I just, once you get the hang of it, you'll just be taking off.
You'll get so excited you don't want to put down your project.
Yeah, and once you get finished with that project, you're like, nope, I want another one. I've got so many kits. I'm going to be donating my kits to some of the girls at church and say, here, this is how you get started. This is how you make the everything, and say, pick a kit, take it, go have fun.
That's awesome. Cool. Cool. Well, I think that probably wraps it up for us this time. Definitely check out our Pinterest page so that you can get some ideas. Check out Tina's account. Search Upper Skagit Library, search Tina Warren. That's 2 R's. And just kind of be on the lookout for what Tina's going to make next. We're not even going to guess when the library is going to be open for patrons to come in next. But by the time that happens, the whole library should just be decorated in Tina's projects.
Oh yeah.
So just at some point you'll be able to physically pick up Tina Jr. and Octopus Friend, and you'll be able to really look at the artistry that went into them. So for now you only get to see them through the camera, but eventually you'll be able to, so like Tina Jr. has some weight to her. I was surprised at how much with the filling and with the yarn that there's some cozy heft to her. Which is great. So yeah, they're great in screen and in photos, but when you're actually really looking at them in person, they're amazing.
Oh yeah.
So I can't wait to share them with the patrons when we're allowed to let you guys back in. But yeah, that's what we got this time. Let's see, January, the first Tuesday, I don't even know what that is. Whatever that first Tuesday in January is, we're gonna have our next In Stitches. We're gonna talk more about what Tina's been working on. We're gonna see if you guys have your own projects that you're working on. Send us pictures.
We would love to see
them. Send them through email, through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, tag us, send them directly to us through private messages or email. I want to see what you guys are working on. I want to hear about the process. I want to see the stuff that you're really proud of. I want to see your oopses.
Yes.
Because oopses are great and we love them because it's part of the learning process. But yeah, I want to see what you guys are working on. And if you ever want advice, what we could maybe do is say, hey, ask Tina, how do I fix this? Or how do I do this? And then we can talk about that during the next session. So we definitely want this to be show and tell plus, oh no, help me.
Yeah, I will do my best to help you fix the mistakes. All I can do is do a sample myself of what you're doing, and then this way I can help you fix your mistakes or your mess ups.
Right. If you get totally lost and confused.
Your oops, not mess up, your oops.
Them good old goofs.
Yeah. And it goes the same with the cross stitch too. I can show you how to do the oops. There's a stitch called a half stitch. It's half of an X. I really don't like those. I just prefer to go ahead and make a full X and just let the back stitch take care of the outline of it. And it really comes, for me, it comes out. It works. So, but can't wait to see all you guys' projects.
Yeah, so send them to info@upperskagitlibrary.org, or you know how to send us stuff through social media. You know, you've got this. We're all pros by now. We've been doing this for a year. You got this. All right, with that, have an amazing December, everyone. Have all the happy days and holidays and vacations and stay-at-home lazy days and all of that. And we will see you for curbside service throughout the month.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.